Congratulations, you are on the right way to choose the correct property here in Dubai and invest in real estate market in UAE. Let's discuss what's gonna happen in case if we go through this journey together. Welcome everybody to my channel. My name is Gary. I'm a real estate investor, investment broker and advisor, and let's start. So first of all, very hypothetically we can meet. I deal with many clients on a daily basis from different sources, starting from my social media as a personal brand, then my marketing department, then networking and many other things. I understood one very important thing. Client, investor, as you are, as I am, need to trust the broker, need to understand the market, and need to understand how clear is the procedure from A, just thinking about purchasing any property in Dubai, till Z, when you are the official owner with the signed SPA and all code in your hand. As soon as we meet, the first thing I ask my investors to do is to get on a call. And here's a very interesting thing. Some of the investors, some of the clients get this information and kind of like request from my side in a negative way by just giving the explanation like, Gary, first of all, send me the listing, what you have, send me the information about the project. If they come to me through some project advertisement or something like this, and I explain every time to everybody, regardless the country, nationality, budget, and many other things, that it does not work like this, because I'm not just the property agent who will send you listings. The whole real estate market is open for me. I'm not focused on only off-plan or only off secondary. I'm not the relationship manager of developer. You can imagine how many listings I have. So it doesn't work like this. That's why number one important thing that everybody here need to understand is that meeting is important, is the essential part of the collaboration. Imagine that you are planning to construct, to build your own house. What you do, you start from the foundation. The meeting, regardless, is going to be video call, phone call. This is the foundation that we need to start from. As soon as we get on a call, we start talking and getting acquaintance with each other. Why it's important? You don't know me from the very first time. I don't know you. We are planning to buy the property, so how we can do something like this without having any trust, even if it's the first call. That's why I introduce myself for you to understand who I am. You introduce yourself. You explain to me the reason, the logic, how you think, why you have decided to go to Dubai market now in 2025 and not back in time in 2023 or 20 or 19 or whatsoever. It also matters for me because as I understand from my experience, from my practice, even from my family, because like we are investors, that whatever we say and whatever we think, it's absolutely different thing. So once we meet on the call, I start asking a couple of questions to understand your logic better. What kind of questions are that? First of all, I need to understand, how did you come to me? How do you understand that you want to deal with me? Is it just the marketing advertisement? You were just filling the details because of the interesting, I don't know, beautiful project, or you were watching me in social medias and you decided to come to me? Because this is also, it matters. If you come to me through social media, you can easily check the videos I was doing before. You can check the content I provide to you. You can understand the way I think, the way I analyze the market, and the way I work in general. Why? Because just watching my even YouTube channel, my Instagram reels or whatsoever, you understand who I am. When it comes to the, let's say, marketing advertisement, you don't know me at all. And that's why you just saw some project, and for you, I'm just broker number 27. So you don't care about me at all, because 26 people were calling you before me, and maybe another 26 will call you after me. That's why it's really important to understand why you came to me. What is the main goal? How have you decided to be here? Then I ask you the question, which is important for me to get your logic, is why do you want Dubai? There are so many markets in the world. Yes, Dubai has the advantages that many of the markets do not have, but you know, this is something I know. Majority of the clients that I speak with from the very first time, they have no idea about this. They tell me a lot of things. Gary, I'm thinking between Dubai and Thailand, Dubai and Bali, Dubai and Spain, Dubai and Europe in general, Dubai and the US. And like, if you ask somebody inside the Dubai market who is not connected with the real estate, he is not a real estate agent, just somebody who lives inside the country and Dubai itself, of course they will never make this comparison. But using the fact that like 90% of all my investors are overseas international clients, yes, they let themselves to think like this, to compare Dubai with all other markets, and they have the right. You have this right, and my task is to explain to you using my insight, my experience, and my knowledge why Dubai market really beats other markets when it comes to numbers and many other factors. As soon as we understood the main idea of the first 2 points, we move on to another question, which is, what is the main goal of investment in Dubai? Do you know, it might sound very primitive or easy, but so many clients, so many investors tell me that, Gary, I want to have both. I want to live, and at the same time, I want to invest, or I want to invest, then I want to live, or I want to come to holiday Dubai once in a year. I'm going to occupy my own apartment. Whenever I leave to my home country, I will rent it out. And I can tell you something which you might not like, but this is true. It does not work with the higher numbers. And I have the proofs. It's easily to check that as soon as you have the property, let's say there are 2 investors, Alex and Gary. So Alex wants to invest in Dubai market with the real strategy, just for investment, not for living and investing. And Gary is kind of the investor, kind of the guy who wants everything. So I can tell you something, that the ROI, the returns of the investment, capital appreciation for Alex will be higher, much higher than the same indicators for Gary, just because of one reason, and this is strategy. You have no strategy, you will face the kind of issues that majority of brokers or people who are connected in the real estate market might not say to you, but this is really true, because location is really important, but if you do not have the strategy, location will not help you. So by making the small conclusion here, I can tell you that for you to get the highest number in the market is when you have the strategy, when you either buy to flip, to resell it before the handover or after the handover, or you buy in order to rent it out as an like short-term as Airbnb or holiday homes, or long-term like annually to the residents of the UAE, or one of the option which works usually with the secondary kind of old buildings, but it really works. You just buy something which is not fresh in the market, you just renovate it and you resell it by flipping it with very good ROIs. All these things really bring money to investors. I can tell you this because I do not deal only with offline projects. I don't sell fairy tales like buy now, wait 3, 4, 5 years and you will be surprised. Yes, off-plan property works. I can tell you as the owner of 4 projects of off-plan, but off-plan is not the only direction that can really increase your pocket in Dubai, moreover in 2025. So going back to the main idea, for you to get the highest pocket, you should have the strategy. Usually when it comes to me and my investors, usually people want to rent it out for long term. If we talk about percentage, like around maybe 75 to 80%, they want to buy off plan using the payment plan installments. So you pay the down payment, then slowly till the handover, or even after the handover. We call it post handover, who doesn't know. So usually people want to go for off plan, at least in my investment portfolio. And the main reason is long-term ROI. And when it comes to long-term ROI, majority of you guys are surprised. Some of you even say that, Gary, it sounds too good to be true to have 7%, 8%, 9%. If we talk about off-plan projects, which will be handed over in end of 2026, 27 and above, it can be even 10% plus. Some of you literally do not believe, but this is not something Gary is just saying. This is something that you can check in the market, because statistically, the minimum increase of the rental income in the market as for now is around 15%. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, if you rent out your property annually, let's say for $3,000, so after a year, you can easily calculate and add to your $3,000 another 10-15%. Of course, you should do everything in a legal way and put this in the contract, but this is how market moves. So now we have discussed what kind of strategy we choose together with you, so we can move on in order to start looking for correct location, project, and whatsoever. Here, when it comes to the location, also very important thing is to understand that location are 3 main factors and rules in the correct investment in Dubai, but it does not mean that you should just choose correct location and then close your eyes and go for random projects. Because yes, a part of locations, developers also matter, projects also matter, payment plans also matter, and many other things. Let's discuss each of them together. Before we choose the correct location with you, we need to understand the type of the property we're going to invest in. Usually, my dear investor, when it comes to you and it's going to be your first investment overseas, or at least in Dubai, when it comes to the type of the property, we talk only about apartment. Usually it's studio or 1-bed apartment, or in rare cases 2-bed apartment, because of one simple thing: trust the lack of trust. You don't know the market. You don't know me in general. Even if you come to me through the social media, you know a little bit the way I think work. But again, we know each other, let's say, just for, I don't know, a couple of days, weeks, or months, or whatsoever. At least the question of the trust is still valid. That's why we talk about the minimum amount in order to test and smell the market. Let me stop this over here and explain you something as an investor. When I was about to purchase my first property here in Dubai together with my family, I had absolutely the same logic. That's why I do not push anybody, and I want to repeat my idea. I do not push anybody to increase the budget in order to have the best project in the market or the best whatever, I don't know, location, discount, or payment plan, or whatsoever. Because I used to be in your shoes. I have properties. I understand how is that. That is why I just give the explanation that, for example, if we take, let's talk about the USD, so majority of you will understand the conversion to home country currency. So if we talk about USD, usually my clients say that, well, Gary, it's my first time in Dubai, so let's go for, let's say, from 150 up to 350k American, usually. And I explain in this case, respecting myself and respecting my investor, my future investor, that look, by providing me this smallest budget, you have to be ready, not should, you have to be ready for the thing that it's gonna be studio or one-bedroom apartment. But this one-bedroom apartment will be somewhere like in Silicon Oasis, in the LRC, sorry, in Dubai South, and kind of the areas which are not too close to the sea. Something that almost everybody like to mention, Gary, I want something next to the sea, next to the sea, next to the water. It does not mean that locations are bad. You can check, by the way, one of my previous videos about top 3 locations in Dubai in 2025. You can easily find that even the same Dubai land residential complex is one of the top booming locations, not only according Gary, but according the market in general. That's why how far the location is from the sea does not mean that the location is going to give you the less capital appreciation. This is just the fact that it's gonna be not exactly next to Dubai Marina or DFC or Business Bay or downtown. This is the idea. So let's hypothetically speak, we take the budget of 300,000 American dollars. So we have 300,000 American dollars with payment plan, and you always mention this to me. So let's understand what we can choose. 300,000 American dollars. This is roughly something like 1.1 million dirhams. So when it comes to this, we can go for one-bedroom apartment. But as I said, in such kind of locations like Al Furjan, Dubai Land Residential Complex, JVC, depends on the projects. There are different projects with a different budget. We'll talk about the general idea. JVT the same, production city, sports city, and like a couple of other projects. It does not mean that all the one-bedroom apartment and that project cost 1 or 1.1. Of course not. This is just the example, because you can easily find even for 1.5 or 2 million and above. Depends on how good and well known is the developer and project itself. So we have one-bedroom apartment, let's say in the same Dubai Land Residential Complex. When you open the map of Dubai Land Residential Complex, you need to understand one thing. We need to understand, we a team, we work together. We need to understand one thing: price per square meter, price per square feet. Why? Because as soon as you, my dear colleagues, my dear investors, see something which you like, just using the exterior, how the building looks outside, you tell me, Gary, I want this. But I'll tell you something, with the whole respect to you, you want this because you're planning to live there yourself, or you want this because you want to make as much as possible in the future when the project will be handed over, when the completion will come. That is why I tell to everybody, let's first of all check price per square foot. Of course, if client investor will insist, Gary, I want only this and that's it, who am I to change your mind? But as an investment advisor, as somebody who can give you some advices, I first of all recommend to check how cheap or affordable or how high the price is or might be. That is why if we talk about Dubai Land Residential Complex, for example, we understand that one-bedroom apartment with, I don't want to name any developer, but let's say we can go for one-bedroom apartment, let's say 1.1, 1.15, 1.2, for example. Then we check the payment plan. If we understand that we have some difficulties with finance, it's better for us to go for post handover, which means that you will keep paying to the developer slowly after even getting the key. What does this mean? This means that you are going to rent out the apartment after you get the key, and your future tenants are going to pay you the bills that you will use to redirect this money to the developer. So in the end, your property will cost you not 100% of the price, but it depends of course on the project, but let's say something between 70 and 75 or up to 80%. Even here you will make, let's say, 20% more, which is already your profit. So we check the price per square foot or meter in the location, and we understand that we need something with the same range, let's say 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 per square feet dirham as an example. So now we need to choose the project. As soon as we understand that the price per square feet and the project amenities, payment plans, how it looks inside, outside, is it fully furnished, is it just kitchen appliances, and many other factors. As soon as we understand that all these things matching each other, we go for that project. So when I say we go for that project, it does not mean that you need to pay all the money at once, or you need to cancel all your things in your home country, buy the ticket and fly to Dubai. I remind to everybody here that this is possible for off-plan projects, for projects which are under construction, to make the booking and in general to buy the property being out of the country. You need just a couple of documents to provide to the developer through me in order to make your booking, then to pay your down payment and whatsoever. Quickly reminder, this is the classical, your national passport, ID, your phone number, email address, and the physical address where you live. That's, you just provide these 5 things to me, to the developer, and you can easily go for booking. When it comes to booking, just for you to understand, each of the developer accept different like amounts of money, usually starting from, let's say, something like from $5,000 up to $15,000, something like this. After the booking, you have approximately from 2 to 3 weeks time, depends on the developer, in order to pay the down payment. Down payment here is, attention, 20% goes directly to the developer through escrow account. Don't forget the escrow account. This is kind of security for you to be sure and to sleep well at night. You don't have any hesitation that the developer will take money and run away. It's anyway impossible in Dubai, but for somebody who doesn't have any property for now in Dubai, extra security is always big advantage. So 25%, 20% to the developer, 4% to Dubai Land Department. This is the only payment that, a part of admin fee, which is like around $100, something like this. This is the only payment that you pay to the authority of Dubai in order to control the procedure and to make everything in correct way. Somebody calls it kind of tax. It's not a tax, but this is something that we should pay and we cannot skip this stage. Here, a very interesting thing, some of the investors, and it's not only in my portfolio, because I have network of brokers as well, and we share our experience with the colleagues, and I've got this many times from different brokers, different companies, that some of the clients think that in case if I go and I purchase the property directly from the developer, I will save some money and I will not pay anything to the developer, to the broker, sorry. This is probably one of the biggest mistakes that the new investors make in the Dubai market. Why? Because whenever you work with a broker and you go for off-plan project, you do not pay anything to the broker. So just buying directly from developer means for you not to save 1, 2, 3, 4% commission, but to avoid the chance to have somebody who will be your eyes, your ears, your head, your hands, who is going to, I don't know, the same, like to accept the property from the developer when it comes to the handover, who is going to help you to rent out, and many other things. And don't forget that when you go to the developer, with the whole respect to everybody, to all the developers, but whenever you come to developer is going to sell its own project and bank sales. This is what we call selling. That is why whenever you're going to invest, do it in a smart way and just follow not only your emotions, but also follow the advices that your broker provides. Also, when it comes to the choice how to buy directly from the developer or to go together with broker, do not forget about one really important thing, that usually even the representative of the developer has no right to communicate with you. That's why they need to transfer your situation to the appropriate department. It's gonna be collection department, admin department, CRM department, many other departments. That's why it creates kind of the additional headache for you as an investor. I'm not saying here, attention, that you have to skip any communication with developers and deal only with broker. Obviously not. The main idea of mine is to understand that just skip all the possible options wherever you can have any additional headache. If you need to talk to the financial department about your, I don't know, the payment that has stuck or something else, or you need 2-3 more days in order to have your additional payment, it's better you tell this to me. I call the developer, or you'll drive to developer, or you talk, if you have another broker, you do the same thing with him. It's much easier than you need to write the email to the developer, wait for the answer, and sometimes it might take even a couple of days for them to answer, because this is Dubai, and yes, everybody is busy to make the sales. Moreover, when it comes to the developers. And before I tell you something very important, just subscribe my YouTube channel, like and repost, because it really matters for me. Otherwise, we might never see again each other. Let's go to the main choice between to buy directly from the developer or to buy together with the broker. Very fast for you just to get it once, remember and use it for your future investments. Whenever it comes to buying through the developer, you should understand one thing. I told you about this before. I want to be a little bit more deep and provide more logic for you. You go to the developer. Developer will not tell you that, you know what, price for my square foot is a little bit higher than other developers. They will tell you buy. They will tell you where the best. Maybe they are the best, but where is that guy or that girl who will tell you, who will give you the advisors? Pay attention on this, pay attention on that. Let's go for another payment plan. Let's go for another floor. Let's go for another view. Let's not buy the apartment if it's apartment next to the elevator. Developer will not tell you this, but your broker should. Well, if he or she respects first of all himself or herself, they should tell you this. Do not buy the apartment next to the elevator, not because the apartment will be bad, because you will have the extra noise pollution or whatsoever, and many other things like this. That's why whenever it comes to the choice, always go to the broker. Don't go to Gary. If you don't feel comfortable with Gary, go to different broker. The golden rule in real estate is you have to deal with somebody who you trust on the mental level. If you understand that you don't feel comfortable, you don't have that comfortable zone between Gary and yourself, don't choose Gary. Go to another broker, but go only for broker. This is the advice that I would like to give to you. Put in your pocket, put in your head, and never go directly to the developer. Go for the best developers, but together with the best broker. This is something I would like to mention. So guys, if you have any question or you think that whatever I told you does not make any sense, or I didn't say about something else, or you would like to double ask about anything which is connected with the job, brokers, with the clients, just let me know. You can find my contacts below. You can find me easily on Instagram, TikTok. Just let me know how I can assist you and I will do that. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy your life, enjoy Dubai real estate, and we'll keep in touch.